started experiment 27, properties of carboxylic acids and esters. We're going to do the characteristics of acetic acid. So the first step is place into a clean dry test tube 2 mL of water and 10 drops of glacial acetic acid. So I'm going to use distilled water. And I'm going to measure out 2 mL with a graduated pipette, just a plastic one like this. There's 2 mL. And then I'm going to do 10 drops of acetic acid, glacial acetic acid. Here it is. So it's going to be 10 drops of that. Go. Note the odor by wafting, moving your hand. So it really smells like vinegar to me. Now take a glass rod and dip it into the solution using a wide range indicator paper pH. Test the pH of the solution by touching the paper with the wet glass rod. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Alright, sorry about that. I thought I had already taken it out. So now we're going to take the stir bar, swirl it in the solution. We're going to take a little piece of pH paper and then place it on here. And that'll give us the pH of our solution by looking at the indicator, the scale here. So when comparing it, it's probably about a pH of 2. Between 3 and 2 on this scale. So now add 2 mL of 2 molar NaOH solution. And we're going to add 2 mL of this. So that's 40 drops. And that was the 2 molar NaOH. I just want to note this test tube is hot, so it is exothermic. Cork the test tube and sharply tap it with your finger to mix the solution. Remove the cork and determine the pH of the solution as before. If not basic, continue to add more base, so the NaOH dropwise until the solution is basic. Okay, so we're going to get a cork and then mix it. So we'll just stir it up a little bit. grab this again. Let me grab a paper towel. I'm just going to wipe that down a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to go like this. Kind of mix it up like that. Grab a little piece of our pH paper. So as you can see, it's now very basic. It's probably about a 10 on the pH scale. By dropwise addition of 3 molar hydrochloric acid, carefully acidify the solution from the step above. Test the solution as before with pH paper until the solution test is acidic. So for this one, I'm just going to add, I don't think it says the drops, so we're just going to add like 3 drops. We're going to test it. I lied. We're going to add 5 drops, and then we're going to test it. So just a little mix. And then we're going to shake it with this. And then we're going to grab another piece. When you guys do this, when and if, make sure not to touch the end that you want to test on the pH paper with your fingers, because you will end up contaminating the pH paper, and you can get a false reading on it. So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna add another 5 drops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. Give that a mix. So now it's probably pretty, yeah, it's about a 5. So we'll add maybe 3 more drops, just so it's, you know, acidic enough. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna mix that. Here we go. And now we've got a pH of 4. Alright. So test the solution as before with the pH paper until the solution is acidic. Does the original odor return to its strength? Let's see. Yes, it really does. It smells like very much vinegar. Alright, so now we're going to do the characteristics of benzoic acid. Your instructor will measure out 0.1 grams of benzoic acid for sample size comparison. With your micro spatula, place some sample equivalent to the pre-weighted sample. An exact quantity is not important here. Add the solution to the test tube along with 2 mils of water. That up before. Sorry if it was loud. And then we're just going to grab a pretty decent sized portion. This stuff is very, very light, so. Oops. So about that much. right, and along with 2 mils of water. So again with the water. And then we're going to add 2 mils. Like that. Is there any odor? So let me mix this. There is an odor. It's kind of like a sweet odor, I guess. It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's a little bit sweet. So how soluble is it? Not that soluble. It's still pretty much there. Now add 1 ml of 2 mol NaOH to the solution. We're going to add 20 drops of the NaOH, 2 mol. Just like that. Cork and mix sharply, so we're going to cork it. What happens to the solid? It mixes a little bit. But there's still quite a bit of solid in the test tube, and I really mixed it, so. It kind of clumped up a bit, though. Instead of being like little crystals, it's more chunky now. Is there any odor? Let's check. Yeah, there's still an odor. It's actually... So I think it's even sweeter now. So by dropwise addition of HCl, carefully reacidify the solution from step 2. I don't think it asks for the pH, so we don't have to measure the pH. I don't think. No. So we're going to add... So what we're going to do is we're going to add about 5 drops of the hydrochloric acid. And then we're going to mix it a little bit, and we're going to just double check to make sure that it is actually acidic before we move on. Just like that. And then I'm going to grab the pH paper. And it is acidic, so that's good. We'll probably just add 2 more drops just to be on the even more acidic side. 1, 2, maybe 3. There we go. And then test before pH paper until acidic, as we did. As the solution becomes acidic, what do you observe? So, it's actually, there's still precipitate, but it seems to be overall, instead of just like 2 layers, 1 clear layer and then the top chunkiness. So now it's pretty much white all throughout. Still precipitate, but it's mixed in there quite well. Into 5 clean dry test tubes, add 10 drops of liquid carboxylic acid or 0.1 grams of solid carboxylic acid. So we're going to do the think we're going to do the liquid. So, I already got the test tubes ready. Alright, so I went ahead and grabbed test tube 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I numbered them. So now I'm going to go ahead and add 10 drops of the liquid carboxylic acid and 10 drops of alcohol according to the scheme and table 27.1. So test tube 1, I'm going to add formic acid and isobutanol, so 10 drops and 10 drops. So I've got my 80% formic acid. Tube number 1. I'm going to bring this a little closer so you guys can see better. Here we go. Need a dropper. So 1, 2. There we go. And then test tube 2, 3, and 4. We're going to go with, or you know what? Let's add the isobutanol right away, so 10 drops of isobutyl alcohol. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and add 10 drops of acetic acid into test tube 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to use the glacial acetic acid as we used before. So just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and add benzoyl alcohol to test tube number 2. And this is going to be 10 drops. Just like that. Then we're going to go ahead and add isopentanol to test tube number 3. And we're going to go ahead and add ethanol or ethyl alcohol to test tube number 4. Just like that. Alright, and then in test tube number 5, we're going to add silicic acid and methyl. So silicic acid is only in the solid form, so we're just going to grab a little bit of this. Drop it in our test tube, just like that. And methyl alcohol, so methanol, just like this. Alright, and then we're going to add 10 drops, as before. Just like that. I'm going to give this one a little stir. Both of them really. Okay, so now we're gonna note the order, the smell. So this one has, I don't really know what it smells like. It's pretty strong though. Whew, that one definitely smells like vinegar. This one's like a soft, it's really, really sweet. Test tube number 3, it actually smells really good. Yeah, that one not so much. This one smells like kind of vinegary, but like really with like a sweetness to it, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, and this one smells really good again. Like a soft, sweet smell. Test tube number 5. The odor, the color. So test tube 1 is a little yellow. Test tube 2 is clear. Test tube 3 is yellow and cloudy. Test tube 4 is a little yellow but pretty clear. And test tube 5 is clear. Oops. So next we're going to add 5 drops of concentrated sulfuric acid to each test tube and mix the contents thoroughly by sharply tapping the test tubes with a finger. So sulfuric acid. Oh, right here. 5 drops to each. So just like that. And then we're gonna mix them. I just kind of go like this. So test tube number 3 just got really yellow compared to what it was before. Test tube 2 got pretty cloudy. And test tube number 1, I would say it got a little more yellow. Alright, place the test tubes in a warm water bath at 60 degrees. I already got that started and it's already at 60 degrees. So we're going to put that in there for 15 minutes. These solutions are heating. You may go to the next section. There is no next section. So remove the test tubes from the hot water bath, cool, and add 2 mils of water to each. Note that there is a layer at the top of the water in each test tube. With a Pasteur pipette, take a few drops from the top of the layer and place it on a watch glass. Note the odor and match the esters from the test tube with one of the following odors: banana, peach, raspberry, nail polish remover, or winter green. So I'm going to go ahead and place these into the hot water bath. And I'm going to let that heat up for 15 minutes. So now that the test tubes have been sitting in the hot water for about 15 minutes, I'm going to remove them from the hot water bath. Note the color has changed on most of the test tubes. So, test tube 1. Alright, so we've got test tube 1 through 5. 1 through 5, and make note of the color changes. Okay, so these solutions are heated. You may go on to the next section. Remove the test tubes from the hot water bath, cool, and add 2 mils of water to each. So I'm going to add 2 mils of water. So I'm going to grab myself a little plastic pipette, and we're going to pipette out 2 mils of water to each test tube. wait a few more seconds for those to cool down a little bit before we pipette this in there. Alright, so we're going to pipette 2 mils in test tube 1. 2 mils in test tube 2. 2 mils in test tube 3. 2 mils in test tube 4. Okay, so let's see here. Note that there's a layer on the top of the water in each test tube. So as you can see, or maybe you can see, bring you a little bit closer. So yellow and clear, there's a cloudy and more clear, brown and a little bit yellow. This one, they're both clear, so it's really hard to see, but the top layer is there, so there's 2 layers. And this one, we might have to let that sit for a little bit. So, but we're going to start with test tube number 1. So I'm going to grab the top layer. And I'm just going to put a few drops on the watch glass. I don't know, I'm going to go with banana for that one, but I'm not positive. So we're going to go into test tube number 2 now. Just going to rinse out my pipette. So we're going to grab the top layer again. I kind of feel like this one is peach, but I'm, again, not 100%. I'm not really that great with smells, so probably not the best person to be doing this, but anyway. Alright, so we're going to go into test tube number 3. And we're going to put it on a watch glass. Let's just do another one and see what that one says. So we're going to grab the top layer of test tube number 4. Okay, so this one's definitely wintergreen. That I'm sure about. And now I'm going to go ahead and grab the top layer for number 5. So oh, wait a minute. Okay, now, so this one smells like wintergreen a lot. Test tube 5. So let me try this again. This one kind of smells like raspberries, but I don't know. Let me. Okay, so number 1 smells like nail polish remover, and number 5 smells like wintergreen. So I want to say number 2 smells like the banana. But I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get someone else to smell them, and then I'll show you guys the graph after of the smells for each test tube. So I asked my coworker to smell them, and I think we finally figured out what each of them smell like. So test tube number 1 smells like raspberries. Test tube number 2, we said that it smelled like peaches. Test tube number 3 smells like banana. Test tube number 4 smells like nail polish remover. And test tube number 5 smells like wintergreen. And that should give you everything you need to finish your lab report, results section, post-lab, pre-lab, and everything.